do I? Here, let me go back. Okay. Good morning, class. Today we're gonna be talking about 3D shapes. Um, just to start off right now, do you see any shapes in your room that you could maybe raise your hand and try to tell me what type of shapes do you see in your space right now? Yes, Sydney.
Um, I have tape and it's a circle.
Perfect. What about you, Ty? Do you? Yep.
Paper towel like a cylinder.
Okay, okay. So you already know a little bit about 3D shapes. So right now I know that Sydney said a circle. She said a 2D shape and Ty said a 3D shape. And so right now we're gonna move into what are 3D shapes and what we're gonna be learning. So when I put my hand like this, you guys are gonna repeat after me, okay? So I know.
I know.
Right. Okay, 3D figures are shapes.
3D figures are shapes.
Hi, do you want to try and join our class? Okay, so understand
Understand.
cubes, cones, cylinders are. Oh, hold on. Um, sorry, guys. I need to move you guys. Okay. Cubes, cones, cylinders, and spheres are 3D shapes. Okay.
Cubes, cones, and
Cylinders
cylinders and
and spheres
spheres
are
are
3D
3D
figures.
shapes.
Okay. I will be able to
I will be
I will
able
be
to
able to
label a cube,
label a cube,
cone, cylinder, and sphere.
cone, cylinder, and
a
sphere.
sphere.
Awesome. And so, do you remember how I mentioned that Sydney said a 2D shape and Ty said a 3D shape? So, we're going to be learning what those differences are by watching a quick video. If it pulls up.
Oh, hey, kids, it's Mr. B and Banjo Bob.
Hey, kids.
And today we're going to learn about shapes. You know, there's so many different kinds of shapes. There's 2D shapes and there's 3D shapes.
Well, Mr. B, how do you tell the difference between a 2D shape and a 3D shape?
That's a great question, Bob. 2D means two-dimensional. Can you try saying that? Two-dimensional.
Two-dimensional.
Very good, Bob.
Thank you.
Two-dimensional means the shape goes two ways. Take a look at this square. It goes two ways. It goes side to side, and it goes up and down. One way, two ways. This shape is two-dimensional. Wow. Now a 3D shape goes three ways. It also goes side to side. It goes down and up. And it also goes from back to front. Back to front. Did you catch that, Bob?
Yeah.
A 3D shape goes side to side,
Oh.
up and down, and back to front. Another way to test if a shape is 2D or 3D is to see if it's flat. Because if it's flat, it's a 2D shape. Let's try the circle first. Turn it over. Take a good look. That looks pretty flat to me. A circle must be a 2D shape. Now let's try the sphere. Rotate it over. This sphere is still pretty puffy and full. It must be a 3D shape. We can further experiment with the flatness of a shape by doing the clapping test. Are you ready for that, Bob?
You bet.
Remember, if the shape is flat, it's a 2D shape, and you should still be able to clap. Now let's try the 3D shape. Oh no, the 3D shape is too puffy, sticks out too much. I can't clap. Sorry, Bob, the music's over.
Oh,
If you're still not sure if a shape is 2D or 3D, there is one more way to test, but leave this one to me because it's kind of dangerous, all right? It's called the sit test. Here's what's going to happen. Bob's going to put a shape behind me and I'm going to sit down. If it's a 3D shape, I should be able to sit because 3D shapes are full and they stick out. But if it's a 2D shape, I might be in some trouble. Are you ready, Bob? Give me the first shape.
okay, Mr. B. Here comes a sphere.
Oh, wow. A sphere must be a 3D shape. It sticks out 3 ways and keeps me off the ground. Thanks, Bob.
Good job, Mr. B. How about another one?
Yep, Bob, I'm ready. Give me the next shape.
Okay, Mr. B. How about a rectangular prism?
Bro, rectangular prism must be a 3D shape because it kept me off the ground, Bob.
That's crazy.
It goes side to side, front to back, and up and down to keep me from falling.
Pretty cool, guys. Okay, Mr. B. Time for the last shape.
I'm ready when you are, Bob. Give me the last shape.
Okay, kids. Let's try a triangle. Oh, that definitely wasn't a 3D shape, Mr. B.
You're right, Bob. This was definitely a 2D shape. It only goes 2 ways, this way and this way, but it didn't come up, so I couldn't sit on it and I fell to the ground. It's so flat, I went down fast, Bob. I think I'm done with shapes for today.
Well, how about I play your favorite song and make you feel better?
That'd be great, Bob. Thanks.
Okay.
I do feel better. And I did have fun today, and I hope you did too. Now it's your turn to find some shapes and learn something. All right, boys and girls. See.
All right. So can anybody raise their hand and tell me what they learned in the video? Yes, Ty?
Difference between 2D shapes and 3D shapes and like the directions that each of them go, so you can tell which one is which.
Yeah. So, if I grab this paper and if I slap it, I can slap it and I can clap. But if I have something more like a cylinder and I clap, I can't really clap. So those are two ways that you can figure out if it's a 2D shape or a 3D shape. I like to think about 3D shapes more as like something that you can just like it has something in it, so like it has a little bit of mass, and this one is just flat paper. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the 3D shapes because in the video I know it talked about rectangular prisms, but we're gonna be focusing on only 4 3D shapes today. So those are gonna be a sphere, which is kind of like a ball, and then a cylinder, which is kind of like the shape of my candle that I showed you guys, and then a cone, which is a flat surface with a point on the top, and a cube, which is pretty significant later into this lesson, so just be warned. And then, which is like kind of like a box, but it's flat all over. And then we can see this in real life by seeing 3D shapes everywhere. So like you can see a cube when you have a present, like a box, as I mentioned, or whenever you see a sphere. Um, like this is a Pokemon um thing where like you catch Pokemon, if you guys know. And then here we have a cone, which is like a witch's hat, but the bottom might be a little bit more flatter than what it is. I just want to focus on like more so this part than this part because it is a hat. And then we have a cylinder, which is like a battery. Okay, and then now I want you guys to please stand up and join me in knowing these 3D shapes. And there is a shape that we're not quite gonna get into, but it's nice to know, which is the pyramid. This can go up.
I'm a 3D shape expert.
Okay, we're gonna dance along.
All the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. A baseball, the moon, and orange I have right here are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a sphere. A basketball, the earth, and marbles I have here are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a sphere. Here are the 3D shapes that I know.
Come on, let's get into the groove.
A cylinder, a cube, and a cone.
Hey.
And a pencil shaped in a can of soup would be examples of a cylinder, as you can plainly see. A marker, a glass of milk, and a peanut butter jar are all examples of a cylinder. Yes, I'm sure they are. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. An ice cube, a cardboard box, and a Christmas present for you are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cube. My little dice, a sugar cube, and blocks that I use are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cube. Here are the 3D shapes.
Okay, hear them. Ready, guys? A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and
a cone.
Yes, guys.
And ice cream cone, a pencil tip, and a megaphone are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cone. A birthday hat, a traffic cone, or a funnel in my home are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cone. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. Sphere, a cylinder, a cube,
A
and
cube and a cone.
Egyptian pyramid, and some texts would be examples of a pyramid, as you can plainly see. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube,
A cube and a cone.
Wow, guys. Look at us, class. Oh my goodness, I love how we're just super duper excited to know about 3D shapes. Thank you, every one of you, for participating. Like, I just love the energy here. All right, so back to the 3D shapes. We're just gonna go over the 3D shapes once again for my kindergartners. So we got a sphere, which is like a round 3D figure that is shaped like a ball. And you can see it when you see a bubble, when we see a soccer ball. And a cone is a 3D figure with a circle and a point on the top. We can see it when we go to a birthday party and we're all wearing little cone hats. And when you're eating ice cream, you have a little waffle cone. And then a cylinder is a 3D figure with two circles that are in the end and a round part in the middle. And you can see this when you see a can or even a box of Pringles, or like I grab my candle. Um, and then a cube is a 3D figure where all the sides are squares. And usually when you have a cube, they're usually just flat on all of the sides and they're shaped like a square. And you can see this when you have a dice or a Rubik's Cube. And then now it's time to make a cube. So I want you guys to get out the little baggies that I handed to you guys. I hope you guys still have them that are like in a bag, kind of like this. Yes, just like that. If I could get a thumbs up if everybody already has their bag and ready to go. Perfect. Awesome. I love that. Okay. So we're gonna do it together. So try not to get too um ahead so we can all stay together and in sync. So now bear with me. Sorry, class. Okay. Okay, so our first step is gonna be that we are going to grab our toothpick and we're both gonna put one here and then put the other one right here. And then we're gonna try to mimic this image right here. And then try to make it into a square. Like, okay. Does everybody's look kind of like this? Okay, now we're gonna do it one more time. And if you're having any trouble, please don't be afraid to raise your hand and let me know. Now put a thumbs up if you are ready for the next step. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Ty. Okay, no worries, everybody. Everybody can do this at their own pace. Okay, double thumbs up. I love that. Okay, so now we have two of these, okay? Now what we're gonna do is now on one of them, we're gonna stick them up like I seen in the picture. And then just give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Sydney. Okay. Now, for the fourth step, you're just gonna stack it on top like this to make a cube. Now, give me a thumbs up or actually just show your cube in your hand once you're finished. Look at you go, guys, with those fine motor skills. I love it. I love it. Good job, everyone. All of your cubes look so awesome. All right, so now that we got done with that, I want you to talk with your partner. Um, or actually, you know, can somebody just raise up their hand and tell me what 3D shape that they liked and that we learned? It could be a cube, a cylinder, a cone, or wait, or a sphere. So, and then just tell me something that you think of when you think about that shape. So, Sydney?
I like the cylinder because my water bottle is a cylinder.
I love that water bottle. That water bottle is actually really cute. I love how you tried to, or no, not tried. You did. You implemented the cylinder with your water bottle. Ty, do you wanna say anything? Yeah.
Spheres the most, I think. It makes me think of like basketball or soccer ball.
Oh, are you into sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, sports are pretty cool. Um, so now I just want to go over of what we learned. So I know
I know
3D figures are shapes.
3D figures are shapes.
Okay, I understand
I understand.
cubes, cones, cylinders are spheres. No,
Cube,
cubes, cones, cylinders, and spheres
cubes, cones, cylinders, and
And
spheres
spheres.
are 3D figures.
are 3D figures.
I am able to
I am able to
Two.
label a cube,
label a cube,
cone, cylinder, and sphere.
cone, cylinder, and sphere.
Sphere.
Good job, guys. So we all know our cube, cone, cylinder, and spheres, and we learned that 3D figures are shapes, and we all understand that these are all 3D figures. I just want to say that you guys are mathematicians, and now you guys know your 3D shapes and know the difference between 2D and 3D shapes. Good job, class. How do I speak this? Um, okay.